interesting things to discuss today. Um, we have a little bit of an update on, uh, I won't say the war in Iran. We have more talk about the war in Iran. We have a little bit of an update on some inflation metrics from Jerome Powell. So that's something that definitely want to talk about. So Jerome Powell, he came out yesterday and he basically said that inflation and the feelings around it are often tied. And what he meant by that is, if for whatever reason people or companies, right, consumers or companies are expecting any kind of supply shock, they might adjust their spending, their investing, and companies might adjust their pricing kind of ahead of, basically they'll adjust before the inflation actually starts really kicking off and getting too bad. But it's funny because that behavior leads to inflation. Like, by definition, that behavior leads to inflation. It becomes almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So that's something that he has been watching, and something that he has been seeing. And it's something that we definitely want to bear in mind, regardless of if we're trading futures, if we're trading equities, right? It impacts everything. Everything is tied together in modern finance and in our modern economy. In addition to that, we also got a little bit of a, I don't want to say an update on Iran again, right? I don't want to say it because we have no fucking idea. But last night during the Asian session, we saw a big green candle. Icarus and I were actually in a chat, and we were watching it live. And we were both like, "What the fuck is going on? Like, why is this thing running?" Like, I'm telling you, it was just green candles out of absolutely nowhere. And what it was is that apparently Donald Trump had been talking to some White House aides, right? He had been talking to a few a few people in his administration, and he was saying that, pardon me, this is just really hilarious. He was saying that he might be open to ending the war in Iran, and by and also allowing Iran to remain in 100% control of the Strait of Hormuz. So that's really interesting, right? Because that would leave them in control of all of the oil supply. Now, simultaneously, at the same time, we have a bunch of troops that are heading over there, and we were striking everything overnight, right? We were literally bombing them and blowing things up overnight while simultaneously saying that. So if you're a little confused, that's normal, because this is incredibly confusing. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on. Okay? Nobody knows what's going on. And as a result, tech has been bleeding, right? That's the largest sector um, in the U.S. economy. Tech has just been absolutely bleeding, but it's getting like a little bit of a reprieve today, right? We're seeing a little bit of a bounce, and I do just want to say that this isn't like a confirmed trend reversal whatsoever. So even if we end up playing a little bit on the long side today. Don't carry that expectation going forward. Okay. And realistically, we're going to see what happens. Now, you may notice this big ominous red box that I have on the chart here. I've labeled it death. This is our death box. Now, if we cross into this death box, this is where I think we'll see some really, really big movement. And if for whatever reason we cross through the bottom of this death box, well, you will see NASDAQ die in real time. You will see this thing absolutely fucking tank. And again, this is something that we've been really monitoring. Right? We're getting our big liquidation event that we've been talking about for the last 2 weeks. It's happening. It's happening before your eyes. Yesterday, for anyone that was in stream, we ended up doing a free stream, right? And we nailed this fucking thing. We caught shorts from nearly the top and we watched it just completely descend and spiral out of control. So I want you to be cautious, okay? I want you to be cautious. I want you to understand the situation that is occurring here. Just because you get a green day does not mean that all the worries are over. And as a great example of that, I'd like to show you April. Okay. So we got a little bit of a drop in March, and then we had a little bit of a recovery. Oh my gosh, we're so back. It's so over. We're so back. Now it's definitely over. Right? So during a crash, it's not uncommon to see green days. It's not uncommon to see big green days. Like right here in August of 24, right? We had a move from 18,807 all the way up to 19,493 in one day. And then the following day, we had a move from 493 all the way down to 18,748 before continuing down much lower. Right? I can find a million of these examples for you. Okay? We could go back to 2008 to 2001 and you'll find this same phenomenon occurring. All right? This was COVID. We dropped down. Okay? Dropped down over the course of like a week and a half from 97.51. Okay? Ended up at a low of 81.27. Bounced up to 89.92. So this is an $800 move up before we end up going down to a deep low of 66.37. So you have an $800 move up, okay? And then you have a $2,300 move. But it wasn't straight down. As you see, we had a big red candle, right? A big red day. And then we go up, and then we go down, and then we go down. Doji, oh no, is it reversing? We're going to run up. Never mind. Down. Gap down. So it's not uncommon to see these really, really big green days in general when we're looking at, kind of like a market crash scenario. So this green day, this isn't even if we ended up staying green all day and we ended up coming back up to this level or even this level, that doesn't mean that this downtrend is done. So I want you to be incredibly cautious and I want you to be aware of what is happening in the world that's causing all of this to go down. Right? And oil shock is a big one of them. Now, in equity news today, the day has finally come that I've been waiting for. which is, of course, the Riley earnings report. So today, Riley, after hours, after the market closes, is going to be reporting their 2025 full year results. With that, they're going to be reporting their fourth quarter 2025 results, and they're going to be holding an earnings call. Now, these guys just did something really interesting yesterday. They did something very, very interesting. So there was a ticker called Riley K. Okay. And Riley had taken out debt, right? They had taken out debt. That debt was publicly traded and it paid 5.5% interest. Well, they were able to pay off that debt entirely. And yesterday, that that debt was delisted. Because it's been paid off, there is nothing to trade. So that debt is delisted. And the interesting thing is that we're seeing a lot of people on social media in general that are, they were basically painting it as, oh no, well, this company's going out of business. And that is exactly what happens when they take filings and they run them through Chat GPT without understanding what the actual fuck is happening. Right? There's usually more than meets the eye. There's usually something under the surface. There's often nuance that needs to be understood. And in some cases, you you have to realize that the thing that is being delisted is debt, which is a good thing. You want them to have their debt paid off if you're going long. So I'm really excited. Looking forward to this after hours. Um, I think that there's massive potential here, and we're going to kind of be keeping an eye on it throughout today because I know that obviously myself and a lot of the people in here are long on Riley right now. So we're going to continue to watch this. We're going to continue to monitor this situation throughout the stream. Um, Obviously, it's not like the main thing we're going to be doing, but it's definitely going to be something that's kind of on the side. Now, what I would like to do is we are going to begin, and I've already done the 4 hour, 1 hour, daily, but we're going to begin marking up some liquidity levels. And we have, oh, that was for a lesson yesterday. Pardon me for a little mentorship session I was doing. So now what I would like to do is mark these up. We're going to go down to the 15-minute. We have a little bit on the daily time frame. We have a little bit of kind of a lack of data to really truly compare to, right? Because we haven't been down at this price in a long time. We haven't been down at this price in a long time. So we don't have any kind of recent volume to compare to. So what those levels that I showed you are, a lot of them are just prior lows, right? They're the previous lows and in a few cases the previous highs, right? That we can expect there to be a big reaction to. And it's not because it's like, oh, well, it was this price before, so it must matter now. I mean, that has nothing to do with it. It is entirely because that is where we see that institutions and traders are positioned. And when we see that they're positioned there, we can expect that area of their positioning is going to impact us moving forward. So we pay attention. We pay attention because we want to have some some sort of a roadmap. We want to have a little bit of a guide, when it comes to trading, especially during times like this where, quite frankly, everything is just very chaotic. It's helpful to have a little bit of clarity while we're moving through that. And as for, the 15-minute and the 1 minute, we are we are just doing it as normal. Nothing nothing really has changed in how we do this because we can always look back at the last 2 days of price action. And after we get to a certain point, which is right here, then those liquidity levels are going to be very few and far between. And it's not simply just because we don't have enough data, but it's also because it's going to become incredibly illiquid. If we end up crossing down under like this 678, I'm telling you, people are going to be very apprehensive. They're going to be very nervous, and you are not going to see, the normal volume and the normal behavior. You're going to see everyone kind of just sitting and waiting and watching and seeing what happens next. And if it gets any worse, that's when you're going to see them all pour in and start selling. And there won't be enough buyers to support that selling, which can knock price right down. So as we move forward through this, I want you to bear all of that in mind. I know it's a lot, but I want you to bear all that in mind because we really are in, a chaotic situation, and it can devolve really quickly. So far this morning, we've been pretty green, but we want to keep our mind on what is the worst possible scenario, and that is something that is going to keep us safe and help us meet our number one goal, which is, of course, survival. Our number one goal is to survive. Knowledge, logic, patience, and discipline will help us reach that goal of survival. Now, Icarus, what do you think of all of this recent price action?
So far, the price action currently is pretty intense, to say the least, and
A little bit.
also quite disrupted.
Yeah, yeah. Things have changed, um, very, very quickly. Yeah, and Eisen, I agree. Like there isn't really any kind of data that we can really, really look at, right? There just isn't anything. So, and it wouldn't be completely unexpected or completely shocking to see us kind of trace back up, because again, we see big moves to the upside in the midst of crashes. It's not something that we've seen once or twice. It's something that we see every time. Why? Because nothing goes in a straight line. Okay. The only guaranteed way that this chart moves is to the fucking right. And that's because we're not changing price when we're moving to the right. We're just passing through time. Unless you have a time machine, then I guess you could move to the left. But I don't know anyone that does. I don't know anyone that does. So that's that. Let's go ahead and take a look at US 30 and let's see how they are doing today. Okay, also pumping. Also pumping. And again, right, this doesn't mean that the trend is over, especially not for US 30, because if we zoom out to US 30, zoom out on US 30 rather, watch this. where are we? Okay, we're right on the precipice of continuing to fall down. You're seeing the big green days. Okay, everything looks normal. This is your general market crash kind of pattern, right? It's something that we've seen over and over and over again. And if for whatever reason this thing ends up going lower, then we are going to have to draw from these prior lows. But realistically, if we ended up going lower than this like 45 176, like we kind of edged under there a little bit on Friday. And if that dip is not bought, this thing's cooked. Okay. This thing will die too. Just like we have the death zone marked out on NASDAQ, this too will die. So as you can see, I've already marked out the daily. I've actually marked out a bunch of liquidity levels that are way, way up here that I don't anticipate us seeing any fucking time soon. So let's go ahead and move down to the 15-minute. Let's double check. We'll make sure that all of our liquidity levels work. I'm assuming that there won't be too much work that we have to do here. And then we could talk about a few other things that are kind of happening in the markets right now, right? Like we're seeing, it's funny. I was talking last night to Deliverance, who's here in Discord with us. Everyone say hello. He is, somebody that I have been mentoring, and what we were talking about specifically was software. And we are talking about, this is going to sound very familiar to those of you that have been in this, been in this community for a while and attending these streams for a while. But we were talking about how, these big tech firms like your Microsofts, your Amazons, your Metas, how they have been basically burning all of this money on infrastructure, and Wall Street is not seeing the returns on it, right? The gains from it that they expected, and the companies aren't either. So as a result, they're forced to slash jobs, and it's really kind of weighing down on the software sector, right? Or the tech sector and the software segment rather. It's really impacting sentiment, because how would you feel if you're an investor in a company and they go and they blow, I don't know, let's say $50 billion. That's with a B, $50 billion. And you're like, okay, well, you guys said you're going to spend the 50 billion now, and next year it's going to be able to make you 75 billion, and going forward we'll make more money. And then a year comes, right? A year passes in time. And not only did you not make that 75 billion back, but you actually spent another 50 billion, furthering that goal of AI. Well, you're going to be a pretty upset investor. You're going to be a pretty upset investor. So that is kind of the mood, right? That is the sentiment around software right now. People are not seeing any kind of bang for their buck. They're not really seeing any true measurable value in it. Like obviously, people think that think that AI is going to change the world. I do too. I think that it will. I don't know that it's going to right now. And what I think is that the upfront costs of a new technology and implementing it on a large scale are really, really ugly and messy. Does it mean that it won't survive? Absolutely not. Does it mean that, maybe some of these companies are jumping the gun and, that they had made promises that they can't keep in regards to it and how useful it is and how much it's going to impact them on a short time frame? Yeah. I think that that's fair to say. So, seeing as software is one of the largest categories of business here in the US, like this is something we should be aware of. And this is something that we should be a bit cautious of. Okay. I see that Eisen has something. What's my thoughts on what? Yeah, yeah. So seasonality is a real thing. Okay. Seasonality is absolutely a real thing, Eisen. And we see these kinds of things happen and reoccur over time. So for instance, right? For instance, December is often kind of dead. And the reason that December is often kind of dead, it's low volume, it's low liquidity, is because people have already done their tax loss harvesting, right? You don't have any earnings reports that are releasing in December. It's the end of the year. Um, you have a bunch of people that work on Wall Street that are off on vacation on their yachts. So it's generally kind of dead around that time. And it makes sense logically. Well, every season kind of has their own thing. Every season kind of has their own little hallmark. So, yes, we did do this last year. We absolutely did do this last year. But what I want you to also remember is the reason that we were doing this last year. So this time it's because of war. Right? Last year it was because we kept talking about tariffs. Right? This was leading up to the Liberation Day, where we were liberated of any kind of positive economic sentiment here in the US. Right? We were liberated of all of our hopes and dreams of going to the moon. That is what drove it. So both of these are event driven, and it doesn't have too much to do with seasonality here, but I did want to mention seasonality because it is a real thing. For instance, like if you own a company that sells grills, right? You sell barbecues. Okay? You sell barbecues. What's going to be the best time? Like, are you going to sell more in December? Or are you going to sell more in April and May? Obviously, you sell more in April and May. Most people aren't out barbecuing during December, right? It's cold and rainy and snowy. Like people aren't outside doing that. But then summertime, right? Springtime rolls around, it starts getting nice out. Summer rolls around, it's nice and hot. You got 4th of July parties, and suddenly people are barbecuing again, right? So that would make more sense to sell more grills during the spring and summer than in the middle of the winter, right? Just very intuitively. So seasonality is a real thing. There are some companies that do really, really well around Christmas every year, right? Jewelry is one of those. Jewelry tends to do really well. Yes, Ty, I can go back to that. Gex is showing short-term fear. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Everyone's hedging to the downside. Everyone is hedging to the downside. Okay, Ty, here is, oh, not that fucking far out. And you have to pardon me because we have a bunch of lines drawn on the 15 and the 1 minute here. But yeah, here's your death box. Your death box goes from about 22 396 all the way down to 21 490. And if we drop below that 21 490, I'm telling you, man, the next thing coming is like you think that this was bad. If we cross under that, this is fucking child's play. And this has been a big deal, but it's going to be a much bigger deal if we even touch into this. I'm telling you, you will see crazy volatility. If we go into that death box, we are going to drop more. I can almost guarantee it. If we go into that death box, it is labeled death for a reason. A 70 VIX call? Brother, that's gambling. That's gambling. If anything, I would say buy at the money if you see it start to die, right? You buy VIX calls that are at the current price, or like in this case, right, we're kind of close to we're close to 2750, we're close to 30. You could really do either one of them. And yeah, yeah. So IBZ or PIP, Tick. I don't know what to call you right now. You've had 50 names. So when we're going back on the daily, we weren't really able to use it, right? Because we can't really take the daily volume profile and gain useful information from coming all the way back to June. But we needed to make sure that we had, you know, that we had some levels to kind of monitor. And so instead of using the volume profile, because this is actually a time where the volume profile on longer periods of time isn't going to be the most useful thing, what we ended up doing is grabbing these previous lows, right? These previous areas where we could see that support was found. And this is where we know that buyers have been positioned. They've been positioned here since last summer. So instead of using the volume profile, which is going to be really heavily skewed right now up into this big area, we're kind of being forced to do something a little bit different, just because if you're using the daily time frame on the volume profile, it's not like we have data to compare to for us sitting down in the low 23s, because we haven't been there since last fucking summer. The last time we were down this low was September 2nd, right? It was September 2nd. Okay. So, Hehe asks, can we look at the S&P 500 in silver? I think there's more potential in silver today, especially because of the pumps the last few days. Everyone misses September, brother. Everybody misses September. So let's go ahead. We could take a little quick peek at SPY. We'll look at the S&P 500 real quick. And what I do want to preface this by saying is that the S&P 500 moves very similarly to NASDAQ. Oh, these are levels I had drawn out from a long time ago when I was given out a bunch of expected liquidity levels on SPY. Anyways, so when we're looking at this again, we have really kind of the same situation, right? We have the same kind of situation that NASDAQ is having, where we have this big curl down. One could even say that it's a parabolic curve. Watch this. You ready? We're gonna have to flip that, but yeah, that is a parabola. We are definitely moving in a curve here. I'll show you right there. Look how pretty that is. Okay, so we have a parabolic move down. We're not even with this 1.1% that we have in pre-market. We haven't even gotten through Friday's red candle. We haven't even gotten through yesterday's red candle. So I want to caution you that this pump, while it may last today, it doesn't seem like it's going to last in the long term. And this is moving very much like NASDAQ because they hold a bunch of the same shit in them. right? Why do people open the S&P 500 and NASDAQ at the same time? Well, it is because they trade so similarly. So let's say that you wanted to watch NASDAQ and the S&P 500 at the same time. And what you would be looking for would be kind of like a divergence. So if SPY starts going up, but NASDAQ doesn't, well, now you know you have an interesting opportunity to potentially long NASDAQ as it goes to follow, right? That's what is known as an arbitrage, where you are essentially taking advantage of the difference in price in two different markets. And what we need to understand here is that each index, each ticker, each company, they have their own market, right? They are their own little ecosystem. Okay. There's a bid, there's an ask on every ticker. That makes it its own market. So when we're talking about the broader markets, right, we're talking about the indices. But in reality, again, like Riley, right? Riley has its own market. Things are being bought and sold. They have their own market. They are their own market. And that strategy with the S&P 500 and Nasdaq would be just simply, you know, tracking both of them and taking advantage of the difference between those two markets. Now, next thing we want to talk about is silver. So I'm just going to go to the SLV ETF. And what we see here is that we are bouncing up against, pretty strong resistance here. I'll show you. I'll show you with the volume profile. This is going to make a whole lot more sense. Okay. Point of control. This is where most shares have been traded. We have a big level right here that would be expected to act as resistance. Okay. We got a big level right there that we would expect to act as resistance. We have the value area low, which we would expect to act as resistance. So anybody that is long this fucking thing since like January 1st is deeply red. I guess if you bought right here, you're not too deep red, right? You're like 5% red. But if you bought up here, right, where we were shorting silver here on stream, shameless plug and shameless brag, then yeah, that's because this is an ETF, right? This isn't this isn't like the futures, but it's just a good proxy for what we're able to look at, right? And it's because silver's been incredibly volatile. That's the reason it's like this, right? So we could go to we can go right here, and you'll see that it is the same pattern, right? Hell, the price is even the fucking same. It's the same pattern, but the same thing remains true, that if you bought at any time basically in 2026, that you're red right now, unless you really were able to scalp one or snipe out one of these dips. Like, you are red, you are underwater in this trade. So in order for me to get any kind of bullish on silver, to be honest with you, I would want to see not only a breakout of this level that's confirmed, but I would want to see us begin rising even more. Right? Because this situation with precious metals, and it's something that Icarus actually wrote very in depth about for our warriors, right? What the volatility in precious metals means. So if you want to, learn more about that, be sure to sign up, because we do a whole bunch of education. We do the live calls, and we do options and equity swings. Okay. So I would say that if you if you look at the volatility that's been in precious metals, these historically have been a hedge, right? These historically have been a hedge, especially gold. And that volatility disrupts a lot of risk models. These are not being viewed as the safe haven they once were. I mean, sure, it's a safe haven if you bought that shit in the beginning of December. It's a safe haven if you bought it in August. It's a safe haven if you bought it last May. But it's not a safe haven if you've bought it in the last 2 months. In fact, you're kind of fucking stressed about this. So, not only does this impact the entire market, what's happening with gold and silver, but it's also really interesting to kind of trade. And to be honest with you, I would again, I would want to see a breakout probably above like 74.50 per ounce, and I would want to see it continue trailing up. And one of my first targets would probably be like right here at 76.20ish. You'd have another one right at about 80. And after that, who knows? Who knows? But silver could potentially have some opportunity. I don't think it's quite there yet. I would want to I want to see it move higher. Um, and I would also caution anyone about holding silver long term, because realistically, silver is probably worth about $40 an ounce. We have had this we've had this basically supply chain shock of it, where there's artificial scarcity of silver, and that's caused it to skyrocket. And someone also was getting squeezed out. I think it might have actually been JP Morgan. But somebody was getting squeezed out all of last year. So this kind of price action, this does not happen without margin calls liquidating the fuck out of somebody that's really big in it. It just simply, it doesn't. It doesn't happen. Okay? If you see something like this happening, it is because somebody is deeply, deeply fucked. And that's all there is to it. There's a little artificial scarcity. Someone recognized the situation. They went and bought all of it up. China stopped exporting it, right? London made a big run at it. China made a big run at it. And they just held all the supply. And that created demand. And whoever was short was left really unable to cover at a good price. And they ended up getting squeezed out. Yes, it does, IBZ. It works on every asset. Yeah, metals are kind of cooked. See, so like I'm a believer long term, especially in gold, but not really in silver. Not as much. I mean, I think that it's valuable. I just don't think it's as valuable as what it's currently being priced at. And it seems like the market kind of has been agreeing, right? Because for those of you that were in these streams when we started doing them in November, like we were long silver, but the entire time, I mean, what was I saying, right? Is like it's kind of a trash metal. Like it's not gold. People try to compare silver to gold. They're not remotely the fucking same. Gold is a much better conductor, right? It's much more rare in general. So it's really hard to compare the two, because one of them is just a lot more useful than the other. You know what? I don't really need that anymore. All right, so now we are going to turn on our heat map indicator. This is something that comes with a subscription to the room. So, you know, it's basically like a big cheat code for the markets. It shows you where all the latent buying and selling pressure is. It shows you where you could expect reversals. It shows you like the updated point of control, value area high, value area low. Um, so, very, very useful stuff. And if you're not using it, then you are sorely fucking mistaken, because this thing is great. And all of those principles that I was just talking about have been incorporated into this. So this was actually custom made by Icarus to fit the lessons that are being taught on stream and in the chat in this room. Yeah, of course I have. You already know. I got you, brother. I got you, brother. The one that is streaming. What concept does he trade? So that's me. Hi, I'm father of trades, right? FOT. You can call me whatever. I trade my own strategy, and I call it the Remora strategy. And basically, what we look to do is we look to follow the whales, and we look to take the positions with them and buy where they buy and sell where they sell. No worries, no worries. I'm just giving you some shit, brother. But yeah, so that is the strategy essentially is that we follow the people that move markets and we just leech off of the moves. That's it. Super simple, super intuitive. Okay. Well, market is opening in just a few minutes. Let me go grab a little caffeine so I can wake up because it is nice and early. How do you know when the whales enter? Well, because the volume profile tells us when they do. When they enter, they have to bring volume. So we track the volume and we track the liquidity. Like how do we know when they enter? We see it. We see it show up on the chart. We see it show up in the volume, right? That's how we know. And when they start showing up, we watch. And then when they start moving it, we play along. That's it. All right. Well, I'm going to go get some caffeine just because we're going to be starting, in just a few minutes. I'm going to toss it over to Icarus for just a few minutes, my wonderful co-host, and I will be back for Market Open, and we're going to trade some fucking shit. And for those of you that are trading, equities and options, bear in mind that you can always trade along with us trading QQQ, which is the NASDAQ 100 ETF. So feel free to join along. Okay, I will be right back, and I will be leaving you with Icarus for a minute.
Hello. Okay. So, drop me in some questions that you guys may have. No icky, fuck you. JP, ich ignoriere dich nicht. Ich habe dir schon geantwortet weiter oben, du Blindfisch. No, I cannot do any backflips. I'm unprofitable. Winter Moon, you can get the indicator if you go to the hashtag indicator access channel. I linked it in chat, and then you can just open a ticket and send me in your TradingView username. Yes, Cadus, I can. No, Swazzle. I am mainly expecting some further work because after the stream I will be back on work to coding because I got a lot of stuff to do. I can't leak it in here. No, can I? Swazzle knows what I'm working on. Not just kidding, I'm working on Jar of Quent. It's my current project on the side. No, I don't. Sure. Thank you, IBZ. I will blacklist that later on. Nah, just kidding. But yeah, the thing I'm working on is a JavaCon right now. If you want to see like the first few things, you can also just check out the link in my profile for the website. There you can see the first few things. It'll be the project that completely replaces the coaching and course seller scene. Yeah. No, 33. I wouldn't trade market open at all. Especially today, you should be careful as fuck. What do you mean, Eisen? Yeah, but no, I don't take any people in there apart from myself because this is a solo project. All right. By the way, on gold, we hit 4,600 again. So if we break through with substantial volume, we can potentially see 659, 687, and 722. That would be the course of the next few possible moves. Yes, Eisen, I'm using Python and a bunch of other things. For the website, I used JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. All right, it's showtime. Ooh, US 30 got scanned bad. Damn. Yes, MK, I am leaning bearish. But I am also careful about that because it could very well just break out here and go bullish. Placing market open trades is always a gamble.
All right. Well, we got a little retracement to the upside. I don't trust it yet. I really don't.
I've been saying.
Yeah, I don't trust this. I do not trust it. Like, just wait, guys. Just wait. Don't FOMO in. Get out of your fucking heads. No emotion. We're just hanging out. This is why we weren't taking a big position before pre-market shorting, right? Heh. This is why we didn't do that. This is why we're just simply waiting, and we're looking to see where the market starts shifting on its own. We're just going to hang out. We're just going to hang out, and we'll figure out what is going on first. Once we have that clear sense of direction, and we're not in the middle of the area that we have just been consolidating in, then we'll be able to take an informed trade. And if you were asking or wondering why Icarus and I didn't trust this, well, this is why. We're just getting these big swings. I wouldn't even be surprised if we came back up and retraced up to here, right? Or up to this value area high again. Like, that wouldn't be the most surprising thing in the world. And I still wouldn't fucking trust it to long. Because until we see a break in a really big way here, it's not worth the risk. We are seeing a lot of volume roll in, though. Like, there's some pretty heavy trading happening today. There's some pretty heavy trading happening.
US 30 got also scammed bad.
Oh yeah, they did. Look at that. Look at that. All these people that trusted longs. Oh my God, we're going to the moon. Nah, you're going to the depths of hell is where you're going.
And the people that go long right here are also about to get fucked.
I think so too. Especially considering that we came up and we've retested this liquidity level twice, 3 times now. And well, to be honest with you, this looks like shit. And I don't hate going long. I would prefer to bet on the economy and on the markets for my country, right? I'm from the U.S. in case you couldn't tell. So I really would like to have a long bias. It's just kind of hard when everything is telling me that, that we should be bearish over the mid and long term. Oh, silver breaking out to that area that we talked about, huh? Is that happening? Is that happening? We got a little bit more to go. We're not quite there yet. I'm really watching this situation on US 30 because if we get like a little bit of a breakdown under these candles, and I don't mean just touching it, I mean like really truly crossing it and moving down, then there's a really good opportunity there. Like, again, we want to be patient. We want to wait for the good setup. I don't have an interest in trying to pick up pennies in front of a steamroller and trying to call a top and short it, right? I want to catch the real move. US 30 is breaking down. I'm going to enter a small short here. All right. And filled. Got my 533 fill. Got a 533 fill. And I think that what I'm going to do is probably set this stop up at 560. It's not. Oh, wow. Okay, before I could even actually set my stop, moved up a little bit. I'm hanging out in this short.
And that's why I didn't enter. I've kind of felt this already coming, like it's a pretty obvious pattern for me here. Came down, liquidated all those longs from up there, then faked them out into going 2 green bars up, just rugging them again.
I'm just hanging out. We'll see how we react to this liquidity level. We'll see how we react. I don't like that reaction. And I'm getting out now. I literally had my thumb over the button, was about to set my stop, and we just blew right past it. All right, I'm out. Fuck that. I'm good. I took a little bit of a loss there. That's okay. That's okay. Such is the nature of the markets. Yes, earnings for Riley are today after hours. So, yes. Okay, they always talk about gaps being filled. What if it hits a bottom and gaps up like SPY right now? Is that considered a gap down below? Yeah, so a gap is like literally anywhere where you see a big shift in price, like from 1 minute to the next, right? Or I guess like whatever time frame you're looking at, where the candles have literally a big gap, right? That's a gap is literally a gap in price. So they generally fill just because a gap is like a market inefficiency. And as traders look to exploit that market inefficiency, they will tend to kind of trade towards that area where there was a gap. Right. So it's completely mechanical. It's not that every gap fills, right? There are gaps that are left on charts all the time. Most of them end up filling like very, very shortly after. Again, simply because there was an inefficiency in the price.
I've entered a small long on Nasdaq here, filled at 235.
I'm just I'm just a little hesitant about long.
Going break even here.
Like I'm a little. Oh, look at that! There you go. That's the time to
Taking
take
profits.
profits. Yeah, that's your time to take profits if you jumped in with that one, guys. Okay, saying, am I trading news today? I mean, potentially. We'll kind of see what happens. Will I stream the earnings, explain what it means for Riley? I mean, if people want to hang out for that Riley earnings, like we could probably do that.
Nah, Kira, that's not chop. This little bit here was choppy, yeah, but we're starting to get a clear direction now.
Yeah, we're starting to get the clear direction.
And I might re-enter here soon.
I was about to say, like, if we go just a little bit higher and we get just a little bit more upside, then that actually might be a pretty good long.
But I want to have a little retrace first.
But again, okay, this is a very short trade, and if you are not ready to take a trade that might only be 30 seconds, like just be cautious, right? Because we're going to be in and out of this thing. This is not a situation where you want to hold a big long swing. I can fucking assure you that this is not a situation where you want to hold a massive long swing. Like, could it work out? Yeah, maybe. But there's a lot of risk of this just completely collapsing. Because again, like, what is the macro situation like? Zoom out. Right? Zoom out. We are on a very clear downtrend. So while we do get these big green days within it, this isn't something where you'd want to hold the position for any like lengthy amount of time. Right? Respect the trend, trade with it. The trend is your friend.
But also keep in mind that I mentioned that the market is disrupted. The
It's
reason I took the long is because
extremely disrupted. Yeah.
it jumped out of the volatility index inside the indicator that I made. It's a different project that I'm currently running.
We are on the edge of a breakout on silver. Yes.
I am longing Nasdaq.
Yeah, we're very close to that. I'm getting along with you.
Stop is at
Very small.
258.
Very small. All right. And I am filled. All right. I got 267. And I am going to set my stop probably here at 255. All right. There we go. Let's see what happens. Oh shit, Kira. What is it? Kira. What does the consistency mean? What like consistency on a prop firm account? You actually can win too much on a prop firm account. Yeah. So consistency is a rule generally where it says that you're you have to make sure that one trade or one day, Jesus Christ, stopped out, that one trade or one day doesn't account for more than a certain percentage of your total gains. So there are some situations where you actually, I think, might have to lose a little bit, which is like really interesting, right? Considering the whole goal of trading is to do well, but they want to make sure that you're, well, number one, really, they want to stand in your way and make sure that it's harder to pass their evals and harder to get a payout. But number two, they want to make sure that you are not just getting lucky on a gamble and getting paid out from it, that you are able to consistently turn a profit. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I don't like this price action. We're just kind of sitting in this range. I mean, it's actually kind of a big fucking range, but we're just sitting in it.
I've seen bigger.
Yeah, I bet you have. I bet you have.
Always carrying the move around.
Fuck.
I need some help.
Right. So we have a job openings in 15 minutes. That can potentially be a pretty big catalyst. So I want you guys to, again, please be a little bit careful. Silver ended up not getting that breakout. It was very close, but no cigar. US 30 kind of half-ass recovering here. I mean, it's just right back into this range of consolidation that it was in, but it is what it is. Yeah, MK, I can do that if people are interested in the stream about Riley. I definitely don't want to just talk to myself. I want to make sure that other people are around for it. But if I see people that want to do it, then yeah, absolutely. I can do that. I'm just watching NASDAQ very fucking intently right now. This is absolutely
I went
chaotic.
long.
Yeah, I think I'm about to. This seems to have some strength. All right. I'm long. I got my fill at 295. We're good. Fill at 295, and I am going to set my stop initially at 280.
I'm already going break even here, to be honest. But that's just me.
Yeah, I probably will in a second, but I got my fill a little bit later than you, I think. So,
Choo!
Jesus Christ.
Glad I went BE.
Yeah, I'm just hanging out in it right now. I don't really want to move break even quite yet. But I am about to shift up to 285 here. Tighten it up a little bit. Oh yeah, infinite leverage account. There you go. That's what every fucking retail trader needs is infinite leverage. What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong with infinite leverage?
I don't see the problem here. I mean, what are 200 lots on gold on the friends?
You know, I once took some deep out of the money calls on UVIX, which is a 2 times levered instrument. And basically, because of how out of the money these calls were, I was leveraged at a factor of like 40 to 1.
Whew.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. All right. Moving our stop up. Better than break even. I'm going to move it up to 300 here, I think. Yep. Okay. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'm stopped out. I'm fine with that. That was a really tiny fucking trade. Jesus Christ.
I am so glad I held on to that shit. Taking profits here.
I thought you said you went break even. Did you
Yeah,
not?
but I re-entered.
You
I
re-entered.
re-entered on the
Okay.
break.
Holy shit. That was fucking quick, man.
God damn. I can feel the pain, dog. Getting
Eh,
stopped out before that. Jesus
I'm
Christ.
okay. I'm okay.
So everyone, please take your profits
Yeah, this
now.
is the spot that you want to start taking some profits, I think.
Because that shit is about to be fucking backfired on the news.
I feel like it is. I feel to be honest with you, I kind of half-assed just want to short into the news.
Kira, don't fucking believe. In this market environment, there is no place for fucking religion or belief. I
Can I
beg
explain
you.
what the JOLTS job openings is? Yeah, so the JOLTS job openings, that is where we see how many jobs are open and available and how many positions there are that are being hired for. Okay. So if that number comes in a little bit low, then that's showing that the economy is really, really slowing. And I'm suspecting that it's going to be kind of low because most of these companies are laying people off and they don't have the resources to be able to hire en masse, right? So I would definitely be a little bit cautious going into job openings. That's a big data point. That's a big data point. So, again, just be cautious. And I'm half-ass tempted to short into that job opening. Um,
I'm not gonna take shit until the news are over.
like I said, I'm tempted. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it.
Don't gamble the red folder.
Burr, are we up? Uh, I'm not, but that's okay.
I am heavily.
I say I have a very small loss right now that I'm working through.
Hell
But
yeah, BR. Get them
I had
ICT traders fucked.
but I had a really good day yesterday, And last week was absolutely phenomenal. So, you know, you always have to kind of take these things in stride, right? You'll see that it doesn't matter if I'm winning or losing. Like I'm always just fucking calm. And I'm always ready for a winning day to be able to turn around. And that's why sometimes if I'm super up, I'm just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna walk away here. Okay, silver broke out, huh? Yeah, no, silver did break out. That is
All
that
right.
is a breakout.
I'm gonna be right back, like 3 to 4 minutes.
That is a nice silver breakout. That is a nice silver breakout. That wouldn't be a bad long. Um, again, just really, really, really be cautious. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad long here. I don't think. Uh, you said give you a good signal on Nasdaq. Well, we have news coming in just a minute, or rather 6.5 minutes. So just hang tight for a little bit on that. Okay, hang tight for a little bit on that. I think I'm gonna enter. I think I'm gonna enter small long here. Yep. Very small. I'm in. Got my fill on an average of 359 for my lots. So let's see what happens here. Oh, that's cool. Just hanging out. Right now, I'm going to have my stop set to 355. There you go. Take your profits on silver, bro. Fuck yes. Good job, hehe. Hee hee ha ha. Hee hee ha ha. Good job, though. Good job. I'm going to shift my stop up to break even. Actually, slightly better. I got in 59. I'm going to set my stop here to 60. And just adjust that on my end. Okay. And now we're just gonna sit and wait, right? Unless we get some major slippage, then that should be de-risked. And I want to make sure that I'm exiting this long before jobs data comes out. I'm gonna move my stop up to 73 here. Right, just make sure we're locking in gains. I did end up taking a little bit of a larger position than I said I would, but that's okay. All right, stopped out. And pretty much no slippage. We're good. We are good. Oh, Riley up about 5% on the day so far. That's looking pretty good. US 30 largely following in line with NASDAQ and the S&P 500. So nothing super abnormal here. We got 3.5 minutes until we get our jobs data. So let's go JOLTS jobs openings. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Yeah, 10 a.m. So that's about 3.5 minutes. Okay, and we will just hang out. We should get these latest numbers updating in just a few minutes. So, hang tight. We'll see what happens. Probably not the time that you want to be sitting in a trade. So I would probably recommend that you start wrapping things up a little bit. Okay. Start wrapping things up. make sure that you are in a good position, um, to take advantage of what happens after this news drop. Hmm. Riley up at 719. We're starting to really fucking move a little bit. 720. Look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful.
Yo, what is that?
Well, we have news coming out in literally a minute and a half, so we're just kind of hanging out.
Riley is up.
Riley is up. It's funny because we're trending all over social media, and the volume is somewhat low, but it's up to 724 now. Like that thing's starting to run away a little bit. Starting to run away a little bit.
Also, guys, remember what I told you about gold and 4,600?
Oh shit! What did you tell him about gold at 4,600?
It is a major liquidity level that if we break out of that with substantial volume, next target will be 659 and then 678.
And for those of you that haven't traded gold, like realize that those moves are a little bit bigger than they sound. Like in terms of the amount of money that you can actually make trading gold, right? Gold is a money printer or an absolute money pit, depending on if you're on the right side of the trade or not.
Yeah.
But
I think a lot of
regardless,
traders.
was that?
Go on. I think a lot of traders already have felt the the bitch about gold.
Yeah, gold can be wild. Especially, I think that people especially were probably feeling it in like December, January, because that's when precious metals were just going fucking bonkers. All right, did we get our news yet?
It seems so.
I'm waiting on it to actually open or actually get displayed here on the government site. Any fucking time, please.
Actual is a little bit lower than the forecasted, coming in at 6.882 from the forecasted 6.92.
That's not that bad. That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Is the fucking government site not updated yet?
Just look at it on Forex Factory.
Oh god, dude, I should be able to just go look at the government site.
It's also on TradingView if you have the news available. There's a little marker on the chart on the bottom there.
What, this right here? Oh yeah, there it is. Perfect. Yeah, that's not fucking bad. Like I thought it was going to be a lot worse, to be honest with you.
All right.
Silver looking very nice right here, to be honest.
I hope you all are printing on gold here.
I am just hanging out. I have a pretty big day with this Riley ER today. So, we're just kind of chilling, waiting for a few things to happen. Ended up sizing up a little bit, so I'm not as red as I was, which is nice.
Remember for the gold trade to de-risk.
It's funny. Paramount Skydance is having some really, really kind of scammy action today. I just
Yeah, I'm
can't
rarely
help but
touching
wonder
gold.
why.
I'm rarely touching gold, Icky,
I
but when I do, it's generally a fancy trade to take.
Yeah, I don't touch gold too much either. I hold gold, but I don't really trade it. Right? Investment, it's a hedge for the portfolio. It's not something that I trade too much. And part of the reason, to be honest, is those big swings in price. That and just there's so much volatility in precious metals right now. Like,
Holy shit. I would. Phew. If you're in a gold trade right now, place your stop at 618.
I'm kind of watching to see if Nasdaq gives way here and really continues to drop.
Because this move was
I don't know if it will though.
way off.
Something's happening on Nasdaq.
Yeah, gold also just had a big fucking pump and then immediately retrace.
An immediate dump. Yeah. Oh, right. Riley up to 727. We're cruising today, up 6.6%. That's what I like to see. Going into fucking big earnings tonight. Let's see if that thing can continue, because that will be huge, especially if a bunch of volume runs in and gives it the liquidity to really move.
Eisen is in shorts.
What was that?
Eisen is in shorts.
Yeah, that makes sense. That absolutely makes sense. You said what's your target price? 492? Okay. It's 492 on the futures.
Yeah, right. Do we have the equity roundtable again?
We very well might. We do have um we do have that Riley earnings though, which I expect is going to dominate the conversation a little bit, considering that, I'm pretty heavy into it, and I think that a lot of others are pretty heavy into it. So I'm fully expecting it to be the Riley circle jerk is what I'm expecting this evening to be, especially if that thing starts going bonkers.
I'm almost tempted to short Nasdaq here as well.
I'm I'm leaning on that, right? Like I'm kind of leaning that way right now. I want to see the value area low get taken. Hmm.
Would be now.
All right. I'm going to enter a small short here. And if it starts working, then I'll size up into it. Okay, I'm in. I got my fill at 346. So let's rock and roll. Let's see what's going on. Gonna set my stop at 355 for now. We'll just hang out. We'll see what we get. But I think Eisen is correct. I really do. We'll see in a second, but I think he is. And again, just taking real small initial positions. We can always size up as it's working. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
All right, I'm gonna go break even here.
I think I'm going to as well. That seems good. I got in at 346, like pretty much right at the top of the current candle. Not during the current candle, but right at the top of it. So I'll set myself to break even here, just in the event that things start to kind of turn. But this sell pressure is pretty persistent. It seems. I mean, look at the delta here. Like 75% of this was selling volume. So, seems somewhat clear. I'm shorting a little more. There we go.
I'm sticking to what I have right now.
I shorted more.
I'm adjusting my stop to 335.
Boom. There we go. I'll follow you there. And if we break down under this, I'll probably short a little more, to be honest with you. Like a madman.
I don't like that wick.
I'm stopped. Had a small gain.
Mine didn't get filled yet.
Had a small
I'm
gain.
still in.
That. If we break down under this, then I'll short some more. I can always just re-enter. Oh, moment of truth. Moment of truth.
Taking profits
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Get the fuck out. We're just coming down. We tested that liquidity level and bounced off of it twice. I feel like ultimately this thing will end up moving down, but I gotta wait. I gotta wait. Well,
I just don't like the body to wick ratio.
We've always, or rather, we've almost gotten back to green here today. So
almost.
Yeah, I'm very close.
How big was that loss that you tanked?
A little bit.
Did you go out of the ordinary with your risk management?
No, it's more that before I could even get my stop placed, it just started fucking exploding against me. Like it happened right after I entered. It just fucking went the other way. So but we're almost there. Ooh, moment of truth. Can we? Nope. All right. I guess we're just gonna fucking bounce again. There is such a juicy short, and it's just sitting here. Like just come a little bit lower for us. Come a little bit lower for us. I did not see the Warren Buffett interview. Did he do another one? All right, good shit, Kira. Have a good day, bro. Have a good day, brother. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that Warren Buffett interview. I did not see that. And Warren Buffett is normally a really nice guy, and he's really, really well spoken. So I bet that him throwing daggers at Trump is just fucking hilarious.
Yo, Eisen, that's why we take profits earlier.
Yeah, I just normally trail my stop, and that tends to work out pretty well for me.
If a price is 3 points in front of your TP, why would you not just manually take profits?
Uh, I do sometimes.
Trump, please tweet something. Prove Eisen wrong.
He is gonna tweet the most irrational thing, and it's funny because I remember in the beginning of this term, like things that he would say were really moving the markets, and now they don't really move the markets as much because everyone knows it's a bunch of bullshit and you can't trust anything that he says. And I think that that's kind of, I mean, it's kind of funny, but it's also kind of crazy that you have a US president that's lied so much that everyone's like, "Oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever." Every morning it's like Groundhog Day, right? Where you are waiting to see if old man Trump sees his shadow, and if so, then you have, 4 more weeks of red candles.
I'm kind of curious about tomorrow, to be honest. We've got ADP non. No, what is it? ADP or AOP?
ADP.
At least it's a non-farm employment change and the core retail sales and the retail sales.
Mhm. And to be honest with you, I mean, I'm expecting like retail sales to be dropping. Rip. So we are normally looking at both, right? You're looking at the heat map, and then you're looking here for all the extra like contextual details. But the whether you're finding more buying or selling pressure, that's reflected on the heat map, and the brighter something is, the more dominant it is, right? Like we could see that there was a lot of buying pressure up here, right here up at the top. A lot of buying volume came in, and now they're bagged. Get fucking wrecked. Can they unbag? I don't know. We'll see. But they're bagged right now. Yeah, I don't think that retail sales is going to be doing too good. Like retail sentiment seems to be really really bad, and I don't mean like retail traders. I mean like purchasers of goods, right? Consumers. Like the consumer sentiment is pretty fucking garbage right now. So just be aware, be cautious. I think tomorrow's going to be an interesting day. And to be honest with you, I think that tonight's going to be an interesting night with Riley reporting earnings. And hate to keep harping on it, but sorry, not sorry. It's really one of the most promising turnaround stories right now.
Make the equity roundtable about it.
It's going to be very much about it. Like I don't know that that's avoidable. I think that that's kind of a given, especially for who normally comes to these equity roundtables, right? Um, it's funny. I shared that video that I made on Riley to a bunch of people, and they've been messaging me and texting me today, talking about how they're buying in because they're like, dude, this thing is just so fucking clearly undervalued. Like it's hard to ignore. When you have a really really clear when you have a really really clear trade, you don't want to ignore that very clear trade. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, Dennis. Absolutely, Dennis. And that's the thing with most people, right? Where you don't see a lot of people doing the non-essential spending right now. Like airlines have been getting hit, so you can extrapolate that there are less vacations happening right now. Gas is expensive, so people aren't traveling as much. Goods are getting expensive because oil is going up, right? And because of tariffs. So, things as far as like the consumer sentiment goes, things are not looking great. And, I would love to be wrong there. I would love to be wrong. I would love for everything to be working out. It just doesn't seem like it's going to. Uh, I don't trust that. I don't trust this. I'm not going to short it quite yet, but I don't trust it. Oh, what the fuck is that gap? I definitely don't trust that. It might go higher, but I don't trust it. Make sure that this last little trade or two is very, very, very careful. Uh, uh, uh. I'm not gonna lie. I'm half-ass waiting on a short here. That's what I feel like. I feel like we're gonna hit a top pretty soon. I'm just waiting though. We're not gonna take it here. This isn't the time to enter. But just give it a sec. Let's see what happens.
I, for myself, I'm done for today.
I think I got one more in me. I'm barely red. I just want to wait for the right opportunity. Well, that gap is filled. We've filled the gap. All right. We've made the inefficiency more efficient. And let's see what happens from here. No position yet. Man, that peak was that would have been the right time to short too. I was just a little bit hesitant. I was a little bit hesitant because I didn't want to get caught in the middle of a breakout moving higher. That they keep fucking holding the orders back for a few seconds. And oftentimes when they're done holding orders back, right, you get that big explosive move regardless of the direction, right? It ends up being pretty rapid and pretty quick. So, you know, yeah, no, I was looking for a short MK, and I think I still might be. Um, I need to see a little bit more. I need some more information. I need some more information because right now, you know, I am I'm seeing this kind of just in this consolidation range. And what I would like for us to come down and break this 316, which we might be in just a second. But if we break this to the downside, like there is a big move waiting right on the other side of this liquidity level. Very likely. It's very likely. Riley up to 724, 725. You keep fucking doing your thing, Riley. You just keep doing your thing. But we're just waiting. Fucking US 30 is absolutely dying. I'm waiting for NASDAQ to follow. Like, you see this. That's funny. It's funny you were just talking about the Warren Buffett interview. Yeah. Oh god, and then there's no fucking link to it. Learn how to write articles, you fucks. You fucking barons, man. Fucking barons. They literally post about Warren Buffett, and then they don't actually include the link to the interview. Okay, that seems wrong from a journalistic standpoint. You should probably identify your source, but it is what it is. Good job, legit. Good job, legit. Yeah, I'm green today if you're counting the swings, but on strictly futures, I'm like so slightly red. I was kind of a little bit deeper red, but then I sized up into that short, and it ended up working out. We read it correctly and exited at a pretty good time, so that really offset a lot of that, which was nice. It was appreciated. Thank you very much, Nasdaq. But yeah, like nobody's immune to red days, and nobody's immune to having a nobody's immune to having a red day or a red trade. Like it's going to happen, right? I've been doing this for a long time, and it still happens to me. And if I do it for another 50 years, it'll still happen to me. It is unavoidable. So your job is to make sure that you're limiting those losses, and that you are, again, right, surviving uh, to trade another day. Right? Survival is a really big deal. It's our number one goal. We want to survive. Yeah, if Nasdaq could blow its brains out, that'd be great. That'd be great, and it might happen, right? It might happen a little bit later, um, especially if we have. I don't think that Trump has anything planned, but I assume that he'll be speaking today because, like, the man has to talk every day. He has to talk, even if it's about nothing. Even if it's about nothing, he will very likely come out and speak about something today. He'll t- he'll say a little something about nothing. Yeah, if we hit that death box, that's where things get really really fucking just out of control, and you start seeing massive moves. So, like, just mark down that death box, um, and for anybody who is a warrior, I actually have all of that posted in the Father Swings channel, right? As well as everything that's going on with these equities today. So, if you are not part of the warrior, uh, part of the warrior crew, then
Then what are you doing?
then you're fucking missing out. You're literally giving up the easiest fucking money. Okay, the easiest fucking money, and you can just ask the warriors how well that program works out for them. And I'm confident in saying that because I watch them do fucking great every single day. Yeah, if you're not first, you're last. That's right. If you're not first, you're last, Ricky Bobby. God, man, I'm not seeing any of the opportunity that I really wanted to see in these last few minutes, which is totally okay. But it is what it is.
And for those who took trades, you may or may not, preferably you may, flex your profits in free chat.
Ooh.
You have authorization to LARP.
That is something that we do like to see. I do like to see those profits get flexed in free chat. I am just fucking beside myself. I'm really surprised that this market is holding up like this. Like again, we did talk about the possibility of a really big green day, but I'm genuinely surprised that this is holding up right here. I'm not surprised we went up here. I'm surprised that we're holding it. I'm surprised that we've been up here for an hour, right? Or the better part of an hour. That's what's truly shocking to me. I had a website just give me like a free lifetime like premium membership because they love my calls. That's fucking hilarious. That's hilarious.
Which one? Which one? Which one?
StockTwits. I think it's like something like 700 a year or something like that.
Peanuts.
No, I mean it's me, bro. I'm not trying to spend money on anything. Like you know how long that you had to talk me into getting the fucking like TradingView Essential just because I was like, God, dude, I don't want to use this shit. Like I don't want to have to pay for anything.
And you're
Like,
still not even having the app downloaded.
no, I'm not. I should do that, huh? But I just especially with like the monthly recurring charges, like dude, I fucking hate having a bunch of things that I'm signed up for and getting charged for. And I'm just kind of cheap, right? Like, I have a good day. For me, it's not go out and eat at a fancy restaurant and blow $400, right? It's like, okay, like I'll just order a pizza and we'll hang out at home. Like I'm simple, man. I don't need a lot to be satisfied. I'm happy using what I use, right? And I like what I like. And if that sounds like an old person thing to say, well, I'm getting fucking old, okay? Starting to get old. Man, can we get a fucking move somewhere? This is boring as shit.
Yo, Dennis, you typing Unk alert is like the most ironic thing ever.
I have seen a picture of Dennis in real life, okay? I know what he looks like. He is actually Unk. I don't fuck with Subway. I for the I prefer Togo's, which is like mostly a California brand, right? It's a California chain. But you can go and get a fucking fat ass sub from them. What I don't like about Subway is that they try to fucking skimp you on your meat, right? They give you like two little things of turkey or salami or whatever. And then they will literally like slice a fucking slice of green bell pepper in half and stretch it across the whole thing and be like, "Oh, that's bell pepper." Like, "Nah, motherfucker, put some pepper on my shit." Okay? Put some pepper on my shit. Don't try to half-ass me. Potential short opportunity here. Just waiting. Yep, there it is. I'm entering small short. I'm in. Oh my god, dude. How did I get a fill at 367? What the fuck just happened? I pressed sell when it was at like 359. I got in at 367. It's 371. That happened so fucking quick. Did I just get laid?
Yeah, I think you got rug pulled there, buddy. I would have never taken that trade.
Dude, I swear it's so fucking close. I swear that it's so fucking close. I was doing a little Minnesota for Dennis there.
We need to still hear Dennis's impression.
Dennis, do you have the mic? Can you talk right now? Do you have the mic and the family away a little bit? Can you talk right now? Can you give us an impression? Because I would like to hear Trump talking about Riley and say it's the greatest company. This guy can't fucking do it, bro. He always does this. He always does. He taunts us. I'm stopped out. Yeah, so that was a little small loss. So I'm actually going to end today on our scalping just very slightly red. But you know what? It's part of the game, and I'm going to walk away. Oh yeah, dude, what the fuck? That thing started moving. Yeah, so I am yeah, this is the time where you know, you have to have that discipline, you have to step the fuck away. And even if you're green, like, step away. You've done all the trading that you probably should do for the day. There's no reason that you need to sit here and watch this thing for 10 hours a day. You're going to drive yourself fucking mad, and you'll probably end up over trading. So, you know, just
No, Dennis, you get up here.
just hang tight. Dude, wake everybody up. The buildup is too much. No, fuck that. Dennis, get up here.
Now,
We need
or
Dennis
you
up
get
here.
demoted.
Dude, everybody, tag Dennis. Tag Dennis and tell him to come up. Peer pressure this motherfucker. Before you take a poop, you got to get up here. Come on. Give the people what they want to hear. Give the people what they want to hear. Oh my God, did he just really back out? This motherfucker. Trump would do it in the bathroom as well. All right. Well, everybody, have a wonderful day. I hope that, you know, again, stay safe. Don't overtrade today. We will probably be talking quite a bit about Riley this evening. So, you know, tune in for that. And we're going to see what happens throughout today. So,
all right,
everybody take care. And I will see you later tonight for our little round table.
see ya.
No worry, haha. No worry. But yeah, I'll catch you in a bit too, brother. I'll catch you in a bit too. And we're gonna record it so you can always watch it later. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Cheers. Have a great day.